Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the 2023 Golden Bronx Cheer Awards, celebrating the worst in film. A couple days ago, we did the best ones, and now, like I said, it's time to get to the absolute worst of cinema that 2023 had to offer. So, let's not waste any more time and get right into it. Disney became quite infamous this year for a lot of garbage movies and a lot of bullshit they shoved into said movies, so I thought I'd start this off with worst Disney film, as there are going to be a few new categories that weren't here last year, and you'll see as we go ahead. So, the nominees are Cheaper by the Dozen, Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Turning Red, Pinocchio, and Disenchanted. And the winner for Best Disney Film goes to Pinocchio. Big frickin' shock. This was one of the most hated films of the year, not just Disney films, but films in general. And even the Razzies gave this a Worst Picture nomination, I think. So, yep, Pinocchio is the worst Disney film of 2022. Now we get to the acting categories, which is a category the Razzies botch every single fucking year, and this year was no exception. Jared Leto with the winner, really? I don't like Jared Leto, but his performance was fine. So let's just get into it. I've already talked about the Razzies. I've already dragged them plenty of times. So the nominees are Zach Braff for Cheaper by the Dozen, Pete Davidson for Marmaduke, Alan Baugh for Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle, Pauly Shore for Pinocchio True Story, and John Mulaney for Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers. And the winner is Pete Davidson as Marmaduke in Marmaduke. Nothing else to say. This is accurate. But how about Worst Lead Actress? Well, let's just get right into it. AOC for To the End. Ugh, I wanted to vomit there. Gabrielle Union for Cheaper by the Dozen. Sarah Yarkin for Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Halle Berry for Moonfall. And Megan Rapinoe for the soccer football movie. A movie no one on this channel has probably heard of, and I avoided watching like the plague. And the winner goes to AOC for To the End. Good. I'm going to clap for this one. Well done, all of you. Well deserved. Let's move on. But how about the supporting cast? Which side character had the worst acting performance of the year? Well, the nominees are John Bradley for Moonfall, Ezra Miller for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore, Marwan Kenzari for Black Adam, Pedro Pascal for The Bubble, and George Takei for Paws of Fury: The Legend of Hank. I almost botched that. And the winner is, big shock, it's Ezra Miller for Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore. I have a feeling if he didn't have his recent controversies, he probably wouldn't have won. He might not have even gotten a nomination, but yep, Ezra Miller, Worst Supporting Actor 2022. Nothing else to say. But how about Worst Supporting Actress? Well, for that one, the nominees are Ruby Rose for One Up, Adria Arjona for Morbius, Kiki Lane for Chip 'n Dale Rescue Rangers, Gloria Rubin for Firestarter, and Tati Gabriel for Uncharted. And the winner goes to Adria Arjona for Morbius. I can't argue with this one. Even the Razzies got this one right. Which, they never get the acting categories right. Guess her performance really was that bad. But which asshole behind the camera did the worst job? Well, the nominees for Worst Director are Roland Emmerich for Moonfall, Gail Lerner for Cheaper by the Dozen, Keith Thomas for Firestarter, David Gordon Green for Halloween Ends, and James Wen for Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle. And the winner for Worst Director is David Gordon Green for Halloween Ends. I was kind of surprised by this, but I'm not going to argue with it. This movie was horribly directed, and yeah, I already did a full review. I'm getting off topic. Let's just move on before I get into a rant. But which screenwriter botched up the movie the most? Well, the nominees for Worst Screenplay are To the End, because most of that, even though it's technically a documentary, it's all fiction. Cheaper by the Dozen, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Avatar: The Way of Water, and Moonfall. And the winner for Worst Screenplay goes to Avatar: The Way of Water. I'm not going to argue with this, but I can't say I'm not surprised. I know a lot of people on this channel hated Avatar just as much as I did, but I did not expect it to win this category, but I will applaud you for that. So, let's move on. Like I said in my last video, I don't think editing should be taken lightly, and if editing is bad, it needs to be called out. And the nominees for Worst Editing are Firestarter, The Batman, Secret Headquarters, Cheaper by the Dozen, and Halloween Ends. And the winner for worst editing goes to The Batman. This is definitely true, especially with that god-awful car chase sequence. Again, it's another one I can't argue with, but it is one I'm surprised won. So, yeah, good job, I guess. I don't really know how else to put it. Again, in my last video, I stated that animation is not something I take lightly. It is not. It's something the Oscars just see as kids' movies, but I take animated movies very seriously. Except for garbage like this that even kids know are terrible. And the nominees are Marmaduke, the soccer football movie, Pinocchio, A True Story, Green Lantern, Beware My Power, and Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. And the winner for worst animated feature goes to Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank. This was an insulting remake of Blazing Saddles and definitely deserved the win. But which live-action movie had the worst visual effects? The ones that look either artificial or just straight up unfinished. The nominees are Birdemic 3 Sea Eagle, Pinocchio, Hocus Pocus 2, Prey, and Secret Headquarters. And the winner for this category goes to Secret Headquarters. Well deserved. I mean, these other ones had bad CGA. I mean, I couldn't find anywhere to watch Birdemic 3, but I saw the trailer, so, But, yeah, this movie definitely deserved that. Remakes and sequels are kind of infamous for being craps, and these ones definitely support that stereotype at this point. And the nominees are Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Cheaper by the Dozen, Pinocchio, Paws of Fury, The Legend of Hank, and Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. And the winner for worst remake or sequel goes to Cheaper by the Dozen. How this one beat Pinocchio for worst remake or sequel, and Pinocchio beat this one for worst Disney film, I don't really understand. I guess that's just how the voting worked. Again, I didn't do anything with the nominations. Everybody else voted for the winners, so that's okay. I don't really know what else to say. Just okay. This is a category that definitely needed to be here, and it's for worst Hollywood woke moment. As you know, I hate woke garbage that's been shoved in our face for the past several years nowadays, especially these last few years. And the nominees are the Percy Jackson and the Olympians TV series casting, The Woman King neglecting history for their own shitty film, the laughable as hell Oscars, the Little Mermaid trailer, and Lightyear and Kenobi blame anyone but themselves for their own failure. And the winner for this goes to The Woman King, neglecting history. Now, this one was virtually unanimous. This one, beat the crap out of every other nominee on this list. That is surprising to me. I didn't expect this one to get the votes. I expected either Percy Jackson or the Lightyear and Kenobi one to win. But I can't act like it's not well-deserved. Now for the most overrated feature of 2022. The movie so many people defended, and me and most people with half a brain do not understand what movie they watched. And the nominees are Avatar: The Way of Water, Black Adam, Lightyear, Prey, and The Batman. And the winner goes to... Come on. There we go. Black Adam. This was definitely a bad movie and definitely deserved to win in some category. But honestly, most overrated feature considering how much critics hated this movie. I'm not entirely... I think I would have gone with either Avatar or The Batman, or maybe Prey, but it definitely deserved to get a win somewhere. So if it had to be this one, it had to be this one. Much like last time, we're going to move away from the movies for just a minute to talk about the worst TV show. There could have been roughly 30 shows in this category, but I had to narrow it down to 5, so I searched endlessly to see what the most commonly hated shows of the year were, and this is what we got. Obi-Wan Kenobi, Resident Evil, Rings of Power, The Flash, and Halo. And by the way, The Flash is obviously season 8. The rest of these have only had one season up to this point, so I think that was self-explanatory. And the winner goes to Rings of Power. I'd honestly forgotten how much hate this show got, because I was fully expecting either Obi-Wan Kenobi or Halo to run away with this, Kenobi in particular. But Rings of Power won this virtually unanimously, so yeah, that showed just how much people hated this show, and somehow it got a season 2. Bullshit. Now it's the big one. The 10 nominations category, Worst Picture of the Year. And the nominees are Cheaper by the Dozen, One Up, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The 355, Asking for It, The Bubble, Moonfall, To the End, Pinocchio, and Halloween Ends. And the winner for Worst Picture of 2022 goes to Disney's Pinocchio. I'm not sure if I expected this one or not. I honestly expected, I was actually kind of hoping either Cheaper by the Dozen or One Up or maybe To the End would get this category, but the final two were between Pinocchio and Halloween Ends, and it wasn't that close. Actually, the Best Picture two head-to-head one was even less close, but yep, Disney's Pinocchio wins Worst Picture of 2022. Well, there you have it. That's the Golden Bronx Cheer Awards for 2022. It's the worst in film, and next year we will hopefully we'll get to do this again next year. I've already done my early predictions as to what I think are going to be on both award shows, and I hope you'll stick with me for next year to be able to vote for the winners. So that's all I got. Thank you all so much for watching, and for all of you that voted, thank you very much for giving me the winners and the nominations for this, and I will see you in whatever review I make next. Bye.